Our story today revolves around a young child, barely a stranger to the world, who shared his love for rescue dogs in such a pure way that he amazed the internet. What began as a sad moment for Jackson quickly turned into a heartwarming one when he did something truly remarkable. The Betchard family is based in Charleston, South Carolina. Jackson, a 4-year-old boy, lives with his mother in their cozy family home. His father, a Marine, is often away, leaving Jackson and his mom at home, living a relatively normal life. Mrs. Betchard doesn't work outside the home. Instead, she stays home to care for her son. Like most 4-year-olds, Jackson is full of energy and enjoys playing in the yard. Jackson's mother is an avid animal lover who advocates for animal rights. She often fosters dogs until they find their forever homes, something she began after moving out of Army housing and into a suburban neighborhood. She wanted to share her love of animals with her son, while providing him with companionship. These thoughtful actions eventually led Jackson to do something extraordinary. As Jackson grew older, his love for animals, especially energetic dogs, deepened. He cherished every moment he could spend with the animals his family fostered. His mother ensured they fostered at least 3 dogs at a time, and currently they have 4 beautiful dogs and 2 cats. Jackson's favorite dog is Geo, who has a calm and sweet nature. Every day, Jackson would play in the yard with his doggy friends, returning inside covered in mud, as any child should. His bond with the foster dogs brought him joy, and his mother was proud of their relationship, which also helped fill the void left by his father's absence. There are certainly worse things a 4-year-old could be obsessed with, while Mrs. Betchard had no limits on the types of dogs they fostered. She was mindful of the stigma surrounding certain breeds, particularly the pit bull terrier. Pit bulls are often seen in a negative light due to their association with dogfighting and their strong, sometimes misunderstood personalities. Despite their tough appearance, these dogs were once known as nanny dogs because of their sweet, nurturing nature and protective instincts. Unfortunately, they are often surrendered to shelters and have difficulty finding homes due to the negative stigma. But children, like Jackson, don't see the prejudices that adults often do. Jackson had a secret. His favorite breed was the pit bull. However, he wasn't allowed to have one for good reason. Like many children, Jackson received a small weekly allowance for doing chores around the house. His parents encouraged him to save half of it to instill good financial habits. This taught Jackson responsibility and accountability, quite an achievement for a little boy his age. So, what could a 4-year-old possibly do that would astonish so many people as part of her fostering work? Mrs. Betchard frequently traveled to different animal shelters to volunteer and support animals she couldn't bring home. Of course, her faithful sidekick, Jackson, was always with her. He loved visiting the shelters, which he called cute factories because of all the adorable animals. The shelter staff knew him well and were always amazed at how easily Jackson made friends with even the most timid or frightened animals. One fateful day, Jackson and his mother visited the Charleston Animal Society, a shelter they had never been to before. Jackson was thrilled at the thought of meeting new animal friends. As they made their way through the shelter, Jackson's excitement was palpable. He could hardly wait to see the animals, but his mother made him politely introduce himself to the staff first. It was then that Jackson made a discovery that lit up his face like a Christmas tree. In one of the cages, he found a black and white pit bull named Penelope. He immediately renamed her Spot because of the black spot on her head. Jackson was ecstatic, bonding with Penelope through the fence. The shelter staff were overjoyed to see Penelope happy again, as she had been surrendered by a family who considered her a threat. Jackson begged his mother to adopt Penelope, but sadly, she had to decline. Her reasoning was sound. If they had to move back to Army housing, they wouldn't be allowed to keep a pit bull. Though disappointed, Jackson understood, but as they prepared to leave, he found another pit bull named Tank, a big gray dog who wagged his tail with joy. Jackson's heart broke when his mother said no once again. His emotional reaction drew the attention of the shelter staff. It was then that something remarkable happened. Touched by Jackson's love for the animals, the staff mentioned their guardian sponsorship program, where people could pay for the dogs' adoptions, making it easier for others to take them home. Without hesitation, Jackson offered to use his allowance savings to sponsor Penelope and Tank. His incredibly kind gesture touched everyone around him. The story of Jackson's generosity went viral, spreading awareness of the many ways people can support rescue animals, even if they can't adopt them. This heartwarming story shows the beauty and kindness young children are capable of. If you enjoyed this story, please leave a comment and like the video. Until next time.